Okay, welcome back to Resident Evil 5. Today we're going to be doing 5-3. Now, I'm not deviating from my standard inventory. However, something you might want to consider doing, instead of taking along the rocket launcher for this level, I actually would recommend bringing the grenade launcher in with you instead for two particular segments of this level. Although the rocket launcher is still useful for this first particular segment. So here you're just going to want to pick a wall and hide behind it in order to take out these first couple of guys. My aim was pretty crappy here in this first part, so I had to take a couple of random pot shots and just hope that I managed to get everyone. Infinite ammo, semi-automatics are great for this sort of thing, because even if you miss, you still have more shots. The first segment of the level is probably really the only segment of the level you're actually going to need a rocket launcher for, as you can easily take out those Reapers and pick up those Power Stones if you need extra money. And then once again, just kind of stick yourself right up against this wall, and then just take everyone out who's coming around this corner. There may actually end up being a Reaper here as well. The spawn points of these Reapers are a little random, Chris. Thank you. The spawn points of the Reapers are a little random. There are 4 possible locations that they can spawn, 2 of which were the spawns that I just had, and then the 3rd and 4th spawns are that egg right there. Sometimes that Reaper will come down before you enter this room, like right as you're about to get to the door, and then the other time it can spawn is after you leave. After you reach a certain point, it will actually show up behind you. So, since it's a little random, you're going to have to be careful of that. And then you just want to stick around here right next to the console, and somehow I went into dying mode right there. That was a little scary. I didn't even know what hit me. I think it was probably a grenade or something like that. So just kind of stick around and kill everyone with your rifles. I'm going to have to let Chris go on ahead. Depending on how much health you have, you're going to want to have one person or another go across. Of course, me being an idiot, I decided, might as well go across myself anyway. I usually don't use my rocket launcher for this part, but just to make it more convenient, I decided to do it anyway. The rocket launcher, actually, remember how I said earlier that you can substitute the rocket launcher for the grenade launcher? If you bring in flash rounds, this would actually be a fantastic spot to use them, because you're going to have a lot of enemies who have those worm things coming out of them. So shooting down a flash round will instantly kill those guys. So just shoot them once with like a magnum or something like that, and then switch over to your grenade launcher just to get rid of them that way. Besides, 12 flash rounds by the end is going to be more than enough to get you through this entire level. So here, what I'm doing is I'm basically just kind of hiding out over here and just continually shooting rockets into this room over here. Every time I see that door open, I'm basically firing a rocket. So once all those guys are dead, all you need to do is just come around this corner and head up into the room that you were shooting a whole bunch of rockets into. If you were careful, you should have been able to get everyone. Now there's a green herb in here as well, so picking up that red from earlier and using that to heal up is a pretty good idea. So that's the first part of the level done there. That's a pretty stressful segment right there. I've had a lot of deaths there, and even in this run you can see I had a couple of misfortunes here and there. Now this first part can be a little tricky in this moving platform. The trick to doing this is you can see up there in the mini-map, I'm keeping that bridge that we just came across, and I'm trying to stay as far away as possible from it, and I'm hiding behind this gigantic computer console. The reason I'm doing this is because there are a lot of guys that spawn on the bridge behind you once you actually pull those levers. And if you try to shoot all of them, you're going to get hit, and more than likely you're going to die. So it's better to just try to stay away from them as much as possible. And you kind of have to fight the moving platform a little bit, but once you reach a certain distance above them, you shouldn't have to worry about them anymore. At this point, it's just a matter of pulling out whatever gun you want, and then just shooting at all of the various guys on all the different platforms. You can use either a rocket launcher or a rifle. It doesn't really personally matter to me which weapon I use, so I just use the rocket launcher because in an earlier episode, I said that using the rocket launcher to kill enemies does not count towards or against your accuracy bonus. So if you know you're going to get a good accuracy anyway by the end of the level, you might as well just use the rocket launcher and fire off a couple of safety rockets just to make sure. It's just a cautionary measure that you can take to make sure that you're not just going to walk around a corner and get tagged by something, forcing you to have to restart the entire level all over again. So here we're just waiting for all of the different guys to spawn on all the platforms so that you can get rid of them. So overall, this isn't a particularly difficult segment. It's just a matter of making sure you get all those rockets off fast enough so that you don't need to stick around longer than you actually need to. And we're still moving a little slowly. Yeah, there he is. And since the rocket launcher definitely has an extreme amount of range due to the explosions, chances are you're going to hit someone with it. Now this last part is very important. This bridge, a lot of enemies are going to spawn on top of this bridge. They're going to run out of the hallway. So what you want to do is right as soon as you see one of them, you want to take the opportunity to aim your rocket launcher up at this bridge and shoot a rocket underneath them. This will pretty much get rid of like the 6 or 7 guys it takes in order to end this entire segment. But once you do all of that, go ahead and pick up any of the gold or any of the ammo that they happen to drop. So, yeah, and once again, a fairly easy segment. If you're doing that with a grenade launcher, you can just probably shoot up an explosive round up there too. Alright. Now this is probably easily the most stressful part of the level. Earlier I said if you're going to bring a grenade launcher in here, this is another segment of the level that you probably want to bring one into. Because acid rounds are a godsend. If you're playing through this segment without rocket launchers, you're going to want to bring in 2 players that have acid round grenade launchers. Because not only do they deal massive damage to lickers, but they also send them flying back. So if you're looking on doing this long term, that's probably the better option. However, if you just are doing this out of convenience, then the rocket launcher is definitely a better option. So for this particular segment, as you're pushing this, you want to give it 10 straight pushes, and then turn around to see if any lickers are behind you. Because if you don't, chances are you're probably going to get tagged by something. And of course, if your partner's doing a good job, no lickers will be behind you. Now, the other reason you want to do this is, even if you don't have any lickers behind you, fire off a rocket anyway, because chances are the explosion will hit them. So it's a good idea to do so. Same thing right here, I give it 10 straight pushes, and then I go back, shoot a couple rockets. I shoot rockets usually until one of them hits the back wall, and then I just go back to pushing this gigantic crate. But now that all the lickers are dead, I can speed up the rest of this. And from here, it's basically a straight shot to the end of the level. Oh yeah, pick up that first aid spray. You're definitely going to need it in a little bit. I'm just going to quickly do a little bit of inventory management here just to free up a couple of slots. Not that I necessarily need it, but it's always nice to make sure that all of your spots are nice and open. Now this is easily another very strenuous segment, especially if you're trying to do this all in one straight go. You need to get over to this door as quickly as possible and investigate it so that you can easily get through when Wesker punches you through. Also, you need to make sure to get Chris's attention so that you can get him over there, because if you don't, chances are he's probably going to get nailed by something. And don't do what I'm about to do. Don't fire a rocket right there, because in the event that Jill was right behind him, I would have failed the mission. If you're doing this with 2-player, it's obviously a lot easier because you can see, both of you can tell each other where Jill is. So it's definitely a lot easier. But once you get that rocket launcher kill, it's pretty simple. Because eventually he'll just run all the way back, and there you go. This is also another segment that first gave me a lot of trouble when I did this fight originally on Professional. However, a strategy I learned recently, actually, is flash rounds are a godsend in this fight. If you don't mind taking a restart in order to go to the inventory management screen by just pausing the game and hitting restart, fill out your grenade launcher with flash rounds. About 24 should do. because when you do your flash rounds, not only do they work on Jill, but they also stun her. So you can just immediately get behind her and restrain her and throw her so that you can get some free, easy shots. By the time you get through those 24 flash rounds, more than likely you will have finished the fight. So if you're looking for a way to disrupt her gun attacks, hopefully, without taking a lot of damage, that's the way to do it. Of course, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way because obviously when I recorded this, I didn't know any better. And I didn't feel like re-recording this entire segment just for one particular segment of footage. Now, also, it's a good idea that when you're doing this, you want to personally restrain Jill. If your AI restrains Jill, then you're going to be that one have to take initiative. But if your AI partner is, but if you're restraining Jill, your AI partner will always go to shoot Jill's little mind control device. Oh, crap. Chris. Okay. Whew. That would have been really bad if I had taken a death right there. Come on, we're almost there. I think maybe one or two more should do. Just be sure that you don't get nailed by any of Jill's attacks, because they really, really hurt. Ooh, man, that was pretty close. Oh, come on, don't... There we go, thank you. If Jill had gotten off her shots there, I probably would have died. Come on, Jill. Get some. There we go. Like I said, flash rounds can really be a godsend. So if you're doing this with flash rounds, the fight will also go a lot faster than the way I did it here. So 5-3 has a lot of segments in the level that are very stressful, to say the least. Some of them more so than others due to the fact that there are a lot of really dangerous spots that you're in. Reapers, Lickers, Wesker, and all that good stuff. So there are definitely a lot of instances where you can just flat out fail the mission outright. But with a lot of careful planning and use of grenade launcher or rocket launcher will easily get you through this level without any problems whatsoever. If you're using the grenade launcher, though, you're going to have to take a couple of restarts in order to get the proper ammo. But other than that, you shouldn't have any problems completing this level whatsoever. So I'll see you guys next time.